tell us about this choir that we can see there. Where did you first hear about them? Because we've been saying all morning, for those who've been watching throughout the morning, that you felt you almost had to relearn how to sing listening to them.
Well, first I heard of them on Spotify because I was researching musicians out in Georgia. I've always wanted to make a record out there, mainly because I wanted to go back home and kind of what you said in the introduction, wanting to develop and grow even more and to kind of just look at everything I'd done up until this point, up until making this In Winter album. And I just found them mesmerising. I found the way they worked really fascinating, completely different to the, I guess, the pop music culture that I had my first album out at 19. You know, once I got past 30, finding sort of different ways of, I guess, motivating yourself, you know, and what to do next. Those are really important questions, I feel, especially in the music industry, which is changing so quickly. And I always felt like there were certain gaps in my skill set. You know, like playing the guitar, I've always kind of bluffed it in a way, because the instrument is so versatile, you can do anything on it, you don't need to be technical on it. And also with writing lyrics, it's something that is really difficult. For me, it has been really difficult.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to explore different ways of creating. And then with the choir, they're a classical choir. So they have a whole system of how to train, how to sing, and I wanted to research it.
Wow. It's also been, I imagine it's been quite a sort of, I know it sounds very sort of musician-ish, but it's that sort of voyage of rediscovery for you, isn't it? Because you left Georgia at the age of 8 to come to the UK, you've gone back, and one of the songs on there mentions your grandfather as well. And how different is the country that you left now going back to it?
Actually, it's massively different. So I left in '94, and that was sort of 4 years, 3-4 years into the breakdown of the Soviet Union, and the country's infrastructure came to a complete standstill, which meant, you know, the countryside and the cities were littered with abandoned buses, trains, and actually just next door to my grand's place was an abandoned airport, which meant there were left rusty planes.
And you used to play on them?
Yeah, and that was our playground. And so I wrote a song about that experience.
It's called Plain Song. Guess what? We've got it.
Hey.
So it's called Plain Song, and it's about playing in those aeroplanes, and it's dedicated to your grandfather.
Yeah, I mean, it mentions him. He has an incredible life, where at the age of 15 he was sent to a Siberian labor camp, which, you know, obviously in the Soviet countries, that happened to a lot of people. But what I loved about the way he used to tell me these stories was he always made himself look like a hero in it, and it was always filled with adventure, and it was like he was telling me that history but still making it digestible for a child, you know, and for a teenager, and trying to understand that past but still, you know, look at the positives of the fact that he survived it. And that's the thing with that song also, even though we had this country that had completely come to a standstill in terms of infrastructure, it was still so positive, you know, the fact that you find so much light and wonder in these things. But it was the music that we were listening to out in Georgia, which was music from the West, you know, so this country, the UK, which I feel so lucky that it has adopted me, is where the music industry is, in a way, still thriving. And, you know, to have gone from that background to come here and actually make it in the music industry is phenomenal. And that's what I wanted to remind myself of. So that was what it was about, going back to Georgia, getting this choir to come with me, to come on this adventure with me, and make an album that is designed really for this time of year, winter time.
Is it a one-off? You sound so inspired, you might be going back for another one, is it?
I mean, these ladies, they were, you know, we just became such good friends, and I feel like they're my comrades now, and I want to make more records with them. But, you know, 24 women on the road is, you know, as you can imagine, the practicalities of that are pretty intense. So I don't know, you know, we'll have to see what happens next.
Oh, Katie, it's really lovely to see you as always. Thank you so much for joining us. Katie's album is called In Winter.